And we are live. Welcome to all the viewers and listeners. Welcome to another live stream. You're watching the Weekender from Esports and Information. My name is Harsh. Let's see how have we ended the week. What piece, what piece of information have we been seeing a lot in social media these days? Uh, yep, that is that is what I am doing here. Okay, now keep in mind there are people out there who will say that how did you know this information? How did you come to know about it? So yeah, the information that I'm discussing over here is already out in the public domain. So you can check various websites such as uh, it could be All India Radio, it could be Reuters, it could be Associated Press. So there are multiple sources of information available online. You don't need to take my word for it. I'm simply merely just putting up my perspective. You know, yeah. Okay, let's start our day with some festive information. What sort of festivals are going on across the world? It is usually said that Bharat is a land of festival, and it is. It is a land of festival. At any given point of time, be it any season, be it summer, winter, or monsoon, some or the other festival is always going on across some part of our land. Okay, and it is a very interesting thing to note that usually these festivals they coincide with each other. Okay, let's say for example they are celebrating if they're celebrating Bihu in the northeastern part of Bharat, then some or the other festival will be going on in the western part of the Bharat. So this is again a testament to our unity, because there are people out there who will say that there is no string, there is no string holding all the pearls, all the cultural pearls we have all across the land of Bharat. There is no one string connecting it. There is one string connecting it, although it's not very tangible to many people right now. But the more you study about this land, the more you will realize that there indeed is a string. There indeed is a string connecting all the states, all the people, all the cultures together. All right, yes, and we begin. Okay, so in the state of Odisha, the coastal state of Odisha, that is the abode of Lord Jagannath in Puri. Okay, so the Devasnanam Purnima or Snan Yatra rituals. Okay, let me just present this so uh, it has a visual for you. All right, this one. Okay, so this is going on in the state of Odisha. The Devasnanam Purnima or Snan Yatra rituals of Lord Jagannath and his siblings at Puri Sri Mandir commenced today. This is interesting to know. So it's a bathing ritual. It's a bathing ritual that is time and again conducted on the premises of Puri Sri Mandir. Okay, and so Lord Jagannath and his siblings. Okay, we have a quite a extended pantheon of gods. Okay, we have seen Kartikeya, Ganesha, and yeah. So Lord Jagannath has his siblings as well, and there is a Snan Yatra that has begun yesterday. So these are some visuals that are put on the website. You can see there that, like, if you look at it closely, I mean, there are people who are guarding it. There are soldiers. So it is indeed a big event because you have soldiers, police people guiding it. Yep, yep. This is an aerial shot of the temple. Next up is Ambubachi Mela. Okay, many of you might have heard that there is this temple in the state of Assam, and they worship menstruation of women. So there is this goddess. There is this goddess in the Kamakya temple. I guess the name of the goddess is also Kamakya. So it is believed by people over there that she undergoes an annual menstrual cycle, and during those days they celebrate it. Okay. So all the people out there who are watching this video or who will watch this video in the future, can you tell me somewhere the outside of the cultural borders of Bharat that you see a temple that worships menstruation? Okay. Because somehow we have forgotten this, that um, divinity is two dimensional, I would say. You cannot worship just one you cannot just venerate one gender and you just relegate the other gender to simply just to serve the male gender. So yes, in our land, that is Bharat, the feminine form, the divinity in the feminine form has been worshipped, and not just masculine and feminine, even divinity in the transgender form has been worshipped over here. So yeah, we don't need lectures from other countries in the world that how we treat our women. Yep. So there is this Ambubachi Mela. A large number of devotees from across the country have arrived at Kamakya temple in Guwahati as the annual Ambubachi Mela begins today. This is also a very old temple, I would say. This part of Bharat was largely untouched from the Islamic plunderers and marauders. But so yeah, a few temples in this part of the Bharat has survived. One of them is this Kamakya temple, and you can see over here many people have gathered. Okay, it's the spirit. It's the spirit of worship. It's the spirit of service. That this displays, and in essence, it's the goddess. Goddess that is supposed to be going on her annual menstrual cycle, and these are the devotees who have come here to worship. So this underpins and underlines the sentiment that no matter what, if you have divinity within you, you are bound to get worshipped. Yep, yep. This is it. Next up, next up is after okay, Odisha, Bhuvaj. Next is this one. No, I need it in the center. Yep. Okay, if you look at the right side of the screen, a tribunal set up under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act confirmed the center's decision to impose a 5-year ban on Muslim League, Jammu Kashmir, and Tehreek-e-Hurriyat Jammu Kashmir. Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this in our country as well. We let political organizations that have militant tendencies. We let them proliferate in our country, and 5 years, 10 years down the line, they have gathered this strength and they have gathered these resources to undertake violent actions. So I would say, yeah, this is a long due move that the government of India has made. Um, it's an act, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Keep in mind, very recently, this lady who likes to call herself as a writer, Arundhati Roy, she's also being prosecuted under this UAPA Act. So yeah. So under this act, they have set up a tribunal. Tribunal is a judicial body with judicial powers. So, a one member tribunal of Delhi High Court Judge Sachin Datta was constituted under the stringent anti terror law in January to assess whether there was sufficient cause behind the imposition of ban. We need such strict actions because too many political organizations with militant tendencies have proliferated, more specifically in the southern part of this continent, and more particularly in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir as well. So yeah, we should not shy away from taking hardline stand on these political parties. Although we can sit and debate whether these bans will be effective in checking their influence. That's besides the point. But there, at least there is a step right now from the government, from the center. So that should be enough. Next up is oh okay, Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He is addressing some meet. Okay, so the Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe addresses 31st All India Partners Meet in Colombo, expresses gratitude for India's financial support that helped the island nation survive 2 tough years of economic crisis. Okay, yes, we have been this benevolent big brother in the South Asian subcontinent. If you see, Sri Lanka is just like any um, it's a similar situation like Taiwan and China, Bharat and Sri Lanka. It's just that we are a democracy and China is a communistic society. So they are very much aggressive towards the existence of Taiwan, and we, uh, unlike China, we allow Sri Lanka to flourish as an independent sovereign nation. Okay, but that has not stopped us. I mean, we have been helping Sri Lanka quite a bit now. Although there have been conflicts between Bharat and Sri Lanka, like the LTT, the entire issue of LTT, the Sinhalese Tamilians, that has been a thorn in the relationship. More recently, the Kachathyu island. So that has been one of the issues. Even during the COVID times, we have helped Sri Lanka with multiple things: medical assistance, food assistance, water assistance, you name it, and we have done it. So we have earned this epithet of big brother in the South Asian subcontinent. Yeah, very recently, you might have come across these reports in the media that Sri Lanka is more inching towards China right now, because China has been offering a lot of economic aid. And yeah, so very recently there was this diplomatic hustle between Bharat, China, and Sri Lanka. And so get this, there was some dispute related to this Hambantota port, and it was alleged that they had leased out that port to Chinese authorities. And so yeah, Sri Lanka is a part of a larger string of pearls theory that China has put out. So if you look at the map, if you look at the map of this part of the world, you'll see that Sri Lanka is uh, Sri Lanka is the land buffer between Bharat and the you know the gate to the Indo-Pacific. If you see, so yeah, China has been making aggressive moves to win over Sri Lanka to its sides, to further increase its influence in this in the water body, in the region that we now call it as Indo-Pacific. Yeah, but there are some advantages that we have more cultural proximity to Sri Lanka. We have more geographical proximity. So yeah, so whenever Sri Lanka is in trouble, the first help is obviously coming from us, not China. So yeah, we have over here Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe addresses this. Okay, expresses gratitude for Bharat's financial support that helped island nations survive through tough years of economic crisis. All right, I hope this just does not end up as Maldives. Maldives has ruined their hard-earned trust that they had with us, but now it is seen that Maldives is more leaning towards China, and China obviously has made some promises to them about developing their tourism industry, tourist infrastructure. Interestingly, if you follow international politics, you'll see that Maldives has also banned entry from Israel, citizens of Israel. So, if you follow international politics, you might have seen that Israel and the people of Israel, they have started promoting the island tourism of Bharat. So It would be interesting to see how the island countries in the Indo-Pacific, in the Indian Ocean region, how well do they maintain their relationships. But because if you see, Sri Lanka is like, it's an extension of Bharat. We have like cultural connections, we have historical connections. Ram Setu. I mean, uh, he is the president. Next up is a mango festival. This was very interesting. Uh, Let me just open up the images. Yeah. Okay. In the state of Bihar, okay, 2 day mango festival, Am Mahotsav 2024 started at Gyan Bhavan in Patna. Okay. Okay. So, like, there are very few reasons to enjoy the season of summer, for obvious reasons, because the heat is excruciating. Even if you see that the southwest monsoon has made a landfall on the southern part of Bharat, and it is quickly and rapidly approaching the western part and the central part of our country, you see that still there are predictions of heat waves from the National Meteorological Department. So there are very few reasons to like summer, and one of those few reasons is mango. And there are like many, I would say there are more than 800 varieties of mango that grow in Bharat. So in Bihar, the state of Bihar has a festival known as Mango Festival. They call it Am Mahotsav 2024. More than 400 varieties of mangoes put on display. The first GI tag, if for those of you who don't know, GI is a geographical indication. It is some sort of a certification or validation for a product that they grow in a specific area. And so it's an attribution given to a variety of mango that grows over that land. So hence it has this name of geographical indication. So the first GI tag certified variety, that is Zardalu. Zardalu is a variety of mango that has a geographical indication tag, has been displayed along with indigenous and hybrid and other traditional varieties at the exhibition. Mango feast competition was also organized for kids during the Mahotsav. Mango is usually very much a hot favorite among the kids, I would say, because summer vacations, if you recall, if you are a 90s kid, and if you recall that whenever you had summer vacations, mango was the highlight of your day. Okay, I can recall that we had this tradition of when you are little and when you were in school and you had summer vacations, you always go to your mother's maternal home, and that is where you'll enjoy mangoes. You'll stay there. You'll be treated as a king. So yeah. So yeah, this is the Zardalu. This is the variety of mango that has been given geographical indication. Okay, okay. Yep. So this was a competition, a mango feast competition. You can see the kids taking part in it. I would say it has immense potential. The mango industry of our country, if you see, if we have more than I would say more than 500 or 600 varieties of mangoes that grow here, it has immense export potential. And yeah, even if you see the achar, I wouldn't call it pickle, because pickle is a word that usually Americans use to you know um, call, that is not exactly an achar that what we have here. So mango is the core of these achars that we eat. It's either a sweet or a sour, or both. Yep. So okay, okay, what do we have next? Next is this one. Okay, NTA Director General Subodh Kumar Singh has been removed and put on compulsory wait in the Department of Personnel and Training. Pradeep Singh Kharola has been given additional charge of Director General, National Testing Agency. This has been making quite a fuss right now because the exams that are being conducted, I mean, this is a blow to the morale of the students because uh, even the rescheduled exams that they were supposed to take on 23rd of this month, even that has been postponed to a further date. So yeah, I would say there is a major cover up going on inside the government because number one is they've removed the director general and put somebody else in charge of it, and the person that they put in charge, if you look at here, that person is retired. Okay, so yeah, so that is number one. Number two, there are multiple arrests that were made in the state of Bihar in relation to paper leak of NEET. So I would say yes, there is a major cover up going on to save face right now, and even the rescheduled exam was cancelled. So let's wait for the appropriate authorities to let us know what exactly is going on. Let me Why is this? Okay, this is enough. Okay, next up is the first session of 18th Lok Sabha will begin tomorrow. During the session, the oath and the formation of newly elected members will take place. Yes, the 18th Lok Sabha election, the recently elected Lok Sabha, will sit tomorrow. That will be the first session of the newly elected government at the center. Okay, the agenda for this session is oath and affirmation of the newly elected members. I would say yes. There have been some major reality checks for the BJP, the core of the NDA alliance. I mean, yeah, they would definitely have held multiple rounds of meeting to contemplate and retrospect on what exactly happened, and I'm sure they have come up with a, with a working strategy. Yep. Yep. All right. Next up is this is an image. Okay, here. Ganesha and Lotus in Tel Aviv, Israel. Okay, this is a cafe. I don't know, some store, some cafe in the state of Israel, the Zionist state, the nation of the Jews. Okay, now there is this deli or a food outlet or a coffee place in Tel Aviv that has a picture of Lord Ganesh and a lotus. Okay, I would say yeah. Historically, there are definitely some, cultural relations, some cultural proximity. No, not exactly proximity. The Jews and us have very less cultural proximity. It's more about benevolence. It's more about uh, it's more about morals and ethics, I would say, because after facing after facing trouble all across their part of the world, many of the Jewish people, they came to the shores of Bharat, and it is here that they found a beautiful life, I would say. Yep. So that's all that I had in the bookmarks. Obviously, I have more in store for you guys. I'm not going to leave you so soon. Okay, now there is this case that is unfolding in the state of and in the country of Canada. Okay, now keep in mind, Canada has been the recipient of multiple waves of migrants from Bharat, and more specifically, if you even this has been said by many of the comedians, and this is a well, I don't know if I should use this word, but well perpetuated stereotype against the people that live in the state of Punjab. But it is usually said with a comical jest that Punjabis they prefer Canada a lot. So there is this word Canada. They don't call it Canada. They call it Canada. So there's this craze of migration from Punjab to Canada. Now, this has led to significant, migration of the Punjabis from the state of Punjab to Canada, and this has been going on. I would say there are many fringe elements, just like every other community has. There are some fringe elements in the Punjabi Sikh community. They are vehement. They have this vehement demand of uh, carving out a state of Khalistan, a sovereign state of Khalistan from the territory of Bharat. And yeah, so they have been carrying on such activities. So very recently, if you follow our live streams on YouTube, we have covered this in one of the previous live streams that the Canadian Parliament, they observed 1 minute of silence to 1 minute of silence to mourn the death of a Canadian national named Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Okay, Hardeep Singh Nijjar was accused in many cases before his death. His accounts were frozen. There were multiple arrest warrants out against him, but the Canadian Parliament chose to observe 1 minute of silence for mourning the death of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. So you can check our previous live streams of reacting to the headlines. You'll find it over there. So what has been done is, so after that, okay, obviously, the foreign ministry of Bharat, obviously they swung into action because they cannot have a foreign nation commemorating a person who has been openly hostile towards uh, you know hostile towards our country. And so what the embassy of Bharat did in Canada was, they they organized an event. Okay, today is 23rd of June 2024, but let me take you back to 23rd of June in 1985. What happened on that day was, on 23rd of June 1985, okay, some people with militant leanings, supposedly espousing the cause of Khalistan, they got on a flight that was Montreal New Delhi Air India flight 182. This is the name of that flight. They boarded that flight, they planted a bomb on that flight, and each and every individual on that flight died. So, somewhere close to more than 320 people died that day. Okay. And somewhere close to, yes, 300 and let me check. Okay. Yes, 329 people on board, and amongst the 329 people, 268 were Canadian citizens, 27 were British citizens, and 24 were nationals of Bharat. So yeah, people died. And there is a page on Wikipedia that says that. So here is the I'm reading from this page on Wikipedia, that is Air India flight 182. Okay. So Air India flight 182 was a passenger flight operating on the Montreal, London, Delhi, Bombay route on 23rd June 1985, disintegrated over the Atlantic Ocean as a result of an explosion from a bomb planted by Canadian Sikh terrorists. Okay. So it blew up in the air, and today is like the anniversary of this event. And Bharat has decided to hold uh, so short gathering, a gathering to to in the remembrance of this event, and not to forget. Okay, so so in light of all the current events, in light of all the theatrics that they pulled up in the Canadian Parliament by mourning morning silence for 1 minute. So the Canadian law enforcement authorities have assured that the investigation into the bombing of Air India's Kanishk Flight 182 remain active and ongoing, terming it as the longest and one of the most complex domestic terrorism probes. The statement came as the tragedy marks its 39th memorial anniversary. Okay, yes. So the law enforcement agencies in the in the Maple Leaf State has assured its citizens that we are definitely organizing it, but they mourn in silence for 1 minute for the person who is supposed to have links to the groups that had carried out these such dastardly attacks. Yep. So a lot of reflections for Canadians to do as to who have they put into their office. So there has been this. I mean, after the Operation Blue Star. I mean, for those of you who don't know, and I will also blame the education system. I would say education system is supposed to be blamed for a lot of major things that are going wrong in our country right now. But one of the things that they are not doing is they are not teaching contemporary history to students. Okay, they are teaching a lot of ancient, medieval, and up to a certain extent modern as well. So our history ends at like 1947. Post 1947, there is so much to learn about the political parties, you know very less attention is being paid given to contemporary history with regards to education system and with regards to schools. So yeah, most of the people today, they don't know what Operation Blue Star is. For those of you who don't know, Operation Blue Star was a military operation, given green signal by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So there were some militant people. They were hiding inside the Golden Temple, and it was Prime Minister Indira Gandhi who gave the green signal to army to bust open the gates of Golden Temple and go inside and apprehend those alleged terrorists and put an end to that matter. So it's an entire topic for a different video, but yes, that was the beginning of rise of militancy in the state of Punjab. Not that it did not exist prior to Operation Blue Star. Obviously, nothing comes into existence from thin air. Obviously, there were undercurrents of militancy in Punjab long before Operation Blue Star, but it was somewhat a manifestation that came to the fore, that came to the surface, and it has been ongoing. I would say it has still been ongoing because Punjab shares a border with, uh, you know, Pakistan. So yeah. Next up is Pakistan. I mean, it's the levels to which this country stoops every single day. It's not like even surprising to me nowadays, because earlier it might some of the headlines from the neighbor country of Pakistan used to come as a surprise, but now anything that comes out of that shithole of a country, it's not at all surprising. Okay. Very recently, I mean, you have must have seen these videos all across social media. Like, what did they do to a person who was allegedly involved in blasphemy? They burnt a person alive. Okay, they burnt a person alive on the streets of Pakistan, and they rejoiced in that fact. Okay, you might have seen this video on a lot of social media platforms, but you could see in that video that people were actually rejoicing at the pain and the agony that the person who died, and they were rejoicing at the pain and agony of that person who was dying in front of them. So this makes you question the morality and the ethics in the people of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Yes, Pakistan has a state religion, and in that state religion, people are burnt alive with a fully functional, judiciary, with a fully functional uh, police. Yeah. So this is the morality that their state religion teaches them. Okay, next up, yeah. So 22 suspected terrorists arrested from different parts of Punjab province in Pakistan. Yes, so this is a headline that has come up from the neighboring country that they have arrested 22 terrorists belonging to ISIS and TTP. TTP is it Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. It's a banned outfit over there. Yep, the spokesperson said hand grenades, an IED bomb, detonators, and a safety fuse wire, a pistol, and banned literature have allegedly been recovered from the arrested terrorists. So this is what happens when you nurture terrorists inside your own country. So someday those chickens will come home to roost. They have indeed come home to roost. So all the best, Pakistan, to cope up with the militancy. All right, next up, I have some videos. Let's see. Let's see. Let's look at these videos. Hmm. Yep. Let's look at this one first. It's a nice animation. I came across this video on social media platform that is X. Okay, I do not own this video, but it's a nice animation, and all credit to the person who has made it. But we'll use it to understand the core of the conflict that is going on in Russia and Ukraine. So let's see. Let's see. Oof. Okay. I don't think you need an audio for this. Okay. So, so to give you some background, NATO is a military alliance. Okay. All military alliances are united. Why? Because they have a common adversary. Okay. Initially, NATO, um, there is an entire post about NATO on our Instagram page. If you would like to know the origins of NATO, you can look at that post. But for your information, right now, NATO is a military alliance with a common adversary, that is Russia. And Russia has time and again made this clear that it is a red line for us, that you cannot offer NATO membership to countries that have a geographical boundary with us. So, yes, so this is a brilliant animation to understand the problem. Let's see it. So if you look at over here, now if you look, okay, on the right hand side of this animation, you'll see Russia in color red. On the left hand side, on the far left, all the countries in the dark blue color, you will see such as Germany, France, UK, Spain, and Italy. These people are members of NATO. And all the buffer countries in between, be it Sweden, Finland, Ukraine for that matter, Belarus, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and all these countries. Time and again, NATO countries have made it clear that the aspirations that these countries, if they have aspirations to join NATO, they will obviously be welcomed, and that is a red line for the Russian state, for Moscow. So if you see between Ukraine, okay, if you find Ukraine over here and if you find Russia on the right hand side, you see they share a large geographical border. And if Ukraine becomes a NATO member, okay, there will be military uh, presence. There will be NATO presence in Ukraine, and this is something that Russia dislikes. It infuriates Russia. The thought of having NATO troops deployed at its very backyard is inconceivable for people of Moscow. So they have time and again made it clear that if you offer NATO membership to so and so countries, you know, it would lead to a spiraled conflict. And time and again, okay, even very recently, if you see Finland, if you look at the topmost part of this image in front of you, you'll see Finland over there and Russia. So Finland also shares a very large border with Russia. And imagine if Finland becomes a NATO member. And there were these rumblings in the upper echelons of NATO that Finland could also be offered NATO membership. So if you see, even Reuters had covered this very recently, that there is inflow of a lot of migrants on the Russia-Finland border as well. So if you follow international politics, such crises have also precipitated on the borders of Belarus and Russia as well. So Russia is usually allegedly, supposed to be involved in these coming up migrant crisis. The West believes that it is Russia that self-engineered these crises to, to cook up more trouble for West and the countries of Europe. So it is using it as a bargaining chip, as a leverage to not allow NATO to expand further east towards the borders of Russia. So, yep, if you see, so it is largely believed that it is NATO. If you see, yep. So if you see, this is what, okay. So this is what is largely supposed. This is what is believed that is triggering Russia into a conflict with, uh, NATO countries. So I would say, initially NATO was set up as a counter to Soviet Union, but now after the disintegration of Soviet Union, they have continued with this military body. And if I would say it's a, so these Western countries, they have some or the other apprehensions about Russia. Although Russia is a democracy, it is believed that they do still have socialistic and communistic leanings. So majority of the apprehensions that the West has with Russia is their political leaning towards socialism and communism. And yep. Next up, for something for you to see is uh, this one. Let me pull up the video, and it shall become very easy for you to understand. Hmm. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, so now historically, what happens is there is definitely some, spreading of population. If you see in this part of the world, people belonging to our faith have migrated, not exactly migrated, they were natural inhabitants of that land, be it Pakistan, be it Afghanistan, be it Bangladesh, be it, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, even Thailand, and Indonesia for that matter. Okay, so people living over there, they had, nationalistic connections with Bharat. All right. So now that we know that there is no, presence of the people belonging to the Aryan faith in Afghanistan, they have sent back the last remaining Sikhs, the last remaining people adhering to the Aryan faith. They've sent them back to Bharat. So, historically, the Jews, they were spread all across the land of West Asia, as far as Yemen, and the last remaining Jew in Yemen has died. So this is it. This is it. This is the video that shows, the burying the last remaining Jew that died in Yemen. So there is now no Jewish presence in Yemen, just like there is now no Sikh presence in Afghanistan or any other faith apart from the Islamic faith in Afghanistan. Yep. So this is the footage. So I want to the reason why I do this, I want to stress on the fact that how does it matter? Okay, this is the question that is usually put forward, that how does it matter if there are no natives living on that land presently? It's just a matter of history. If not us, somebody else would have come here, took over the belief systems of this land, and converted everyone else to their own faith. So there is this continuity in history that is attached to any piece of land. If you see, um, not that like none of them are surviving these days. We don't have people who are people from the Mesopotamian civilization, people from the you know Chinese civilization, people from the Aztec, Mayan, Aboriginals have been pushed so far into oblivion that only like a minute proportion of American population is now Aboriginal. So usually this argument is put forward that it's out of relevance now, but there is some degree of responsibility that we have. If you live on a piece of land, if you have taken birth on a piece of land, you are there is this inherent duty that is imposed upon you when you take birth on a land, to uphold the principles and philosophies that have come out of that land. So if there is a section of a population that has been driven out of their native homeland, I would say it's a major and gross violation of so-called human rights. And as obvious, United Nations is silent on human rights violations that are going on all across the world. They only focus on human rights violations going on in West Asia, and only a specific section of a community. They have been blind like for more than half a century. Okay, starting from 1947 to the current day, they have been blatantly blind and deaf towards basic human rights violations going on in this part of the world, be it treatment of minorities in the Islamic Republic of Bangladesh and Pakistan and Afghanistan. So yeah, so if it's only one section of the population that has been reeling under human rights violations, then they are very much worried about it. Their heart starts paining, their tears starts flowing down their eyes. But if pagans are suffering from something, their Judeo-Christian principles of human rights are no longer relevant anymore. Yeah, so let's see for how long can we continue with these ideas. Okay. Next up, this is, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu, he is the prime minister of the state of Israel. Okay, he has made this video about, let me put it up on the screen. Okay, you might have to hear this, so you'll need some volume over here. Okay. So let me give you some context. Hmm. Largely, the conflict that is going in, in the western part of Asian continent is between the state of Israel and the militant organization that is Hamas, and wars are fought with weapons. Okay, now Israel has no dearth of wealth to fund this war. They have been very open about the fact that they are going all in to secure all the hostages. They will not stop until they have rescued all the last living hostages that are there. And in return, Hamas has been and I would say in a damage control mode. Right now, the war is more on the side of Israel because they have been very aggressive with their maneuvers, while Hamas is just in the damage control mode. They are trying to save, not save exactly, they're trying to keep as many hostages as they can to use it as leverage in their negotiations. So United States, with the largest, one of the largest, military industrial complex in the entire world. So they have been, supplying weapons to the country of Israel, and obviously they'll need weapons to carry out such military strikes inside of Rafah, inside of Gaza. So this is a video in which Netanyahu is appealing to the United States to give them more weapons so they can, complete their task of securing all the hostages. Listen to his words. Okay. So he has brought up Winston Churchill, and he's appealing to United States to expedite the process of granting them weapons. And they will get the job done. Okay. So, I mean, logically, if you think, how can this conflict be brought to an end, to a quick end? Okay. Now, you will find people out there who will be protesting, they will be out on the streets holding placards that saved so and so lives matter. And what's going on in Palestine is a genocide. Obviously, I'm not refuting the fact that Israel uh, you know, put their toe over the line when it comes to proportionality debate. That is the Israeli response to the October 7 deeds by Hamas. Is it actually proportional with what they had to face? I mean, so yeah, there is this argument to be made, but the Israeli prime minister, he wants more weapons, and there are no signs that he is going to slow down. So I would say that if uh, if I were a civilian living in the areas that is Palestine, I would see that the easiest way to end this conflict is to simply just hand over the hostages. What has Hamas to lose? That's what I'm saying. If Hamas returns all the hostages tomorrow, the conflict ends tomorrow. Okay. So it's as simple as that. That is what Israel wants. It has not kept it like they've not sent any ambiguous signals that we want this, we want that to end the conflict. Okay. So this is something that makes me, reinforces my mistrust into the civilians of Palestine, because if they indeed, if they indeed wanted peace, they would have alerted the authorities that this is where the hostages are. You just rescue them and leave our land. Let us leave peacefully. And that is what, I guess, that is what they would do if they would find all their hostages. So, yep, that is that is what it is. Next video that I have for you guys is the Russian president Putin, Vladimir Putin, the mighty Putin. Yeah, he was addressing some military personnels in Moscow. Okay. Now, even in our country, you will see that some of the political activists, the so-called political activists that we have, they will come up with this idea of being a pacifist country. I mean, why buy weapons when you have people who are reeling with hunger and employment problems? Okay, instead, why don't we use that money to feed people? Why exactly are weapons important? So if you are living under this imaginary and utopian idea that each and every country on this globe is aiming for peace, so let me just wake you up from a dream. Okay, there is no such thing as peace. Quite simple. I could not have put it up in a better way, but there is no such thing as peace. Every country out there is hell bent on protecting their own self interests. They are willing to go to any length possible to protect their own self interests. And world history is replete with examples. And again, I would stress the importance of contemporary history. You will not have to go too far back into the past to come up with examples where a country has taken extreme military steps to protect its own national interests. And majority examples are from United States. Okay, how United States has you know waged wars in territories as far as Vietnam and Afghanistan just to protect its own self-interest. So this idea of being a pacifist state is just, you know for the lack of a better word, bullshit. Yeah. So here is Putin addressing military personnel that we should expand our military capacity. So let's hear it from Putin. I hope I'm presenting it. No, I'm not. Let's present this. Okay. So let's hear it from Vladimir Putin. So these are the thoughts of the leader of a hardliner, a hardlining patriot, a nationalistic person who is stressing on the need of expanding the military capacity because he understands the reality. You cannot function, you cannot, as a nation, you cannot exist on the assumption that all the countries out there are peace loving countries and, you know, yep. Okay, one last thing before we conclude this live stream. I have a video from the IDF, that is Israel Defense Forces. They have put up this video, of their operations going on inside of Gaza. Let's see it before we end this live stream. And yep. So you'll not need too much of volume over here. Okay. Let's see it. So this was shared by most on their page on the social media platform of X. This is a drone footage that they have put up. Interesting to see how they are monitoring everything. These are the enclaves that they have. Okay. If you can see over here, the situation is just too bad. I mean, look at the buildings. Okay. I mean, yeah, look at the buildings, how the level of destruction, how long is it going to take for them to rebuild this? Who is going to fund all the rebuilding? And who's going to make sure that the money that is intended for rebuilding this goes to the right people, right companies? So I would say the war has crossed that point of, that point of return. I mean, there's no going back now if such is the level of destruction going on over there. So the only way to end this tomorrow or end this quickest is to simply just return the hostages. I would say the gamble that Hamas played on October 7, okay, has not paid off. They did not have, in the language of poker, they did not have enough money to call the hand of Israel on, yep. So Israel has called their bluff. They keep on calling their every move, talking in poker parlance. So they are calling each and every move from Hamas and they are not stopping. They're raising them. Okay. They're raising each and every bet that Hamas is placing. And in the end, when they, open the hands, when it's going to time to show their hands, I'm not sure whether there is enough, money on the table for each party to celebrate that they won. So yeah. So this is the condition. You can look. It's in shambles. It's in shambles. Hmm. All right, people. That's all for today. I hope you guys have a good day today, and thank you for joining. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.